وعلمك ما لم تكن تعلم وكان فضل الله عليك عظيما. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله السيدات والسادة الحضور. أرحب بكم في المؤتمر الدولي الثاني الذي تنظمه الجمعية الكيميائية التطبيقية برعاية ودعم جامعة سوهاج. واسمحوا لنا أن نبدأ الأول بالسلام الجمهوري. وفي كافة أنحاء العالم. اسمحوا لي أن أرحب بالسادة الضيوف الأجانب. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate your coming to the second international conference in Egypt, in its beautiful city of Hurghada. And in spite of what's happening of the terrorist attack 2 days ago, we appreciate your coming and the struggle. I'm Nafadi. I'm a professor of inorganic chemistry in King Saud University. I'm a visiting professor at RMIT University in Melbourne, Australia, and also one of the staff members of Sohag University, the hosting for this conference. And I would like to thank you on behalf of myself and all of the organizing committee. And I wish you all a good time and a pleasant time here in our conference in Hurghada. We would like to start the ceremony, and the first thing that we want to do is the chairman of the conference, a brief introduction about the conference and the effort that he did to make this conference stand in the way we see right now. So welcome, Dr. Ahmed.
Welcome to the second International Conference of Applied Chemistry, organized by Sوهاج University and the International Society of Applied Chemistry. I would like to thank Professor Dr. Ahmed Aziz, the President of Sوهاج University and the President of this conference, and the Professor Dr. Ahmed Samahi, the Chairman of the International Society of the Applied Chemistry, Dr. Sultan Abu Rabi, the General Secretary of Union Arab Universities. Special welcome to our overseas guests, particularly speakers and keynote speakers in this conference. Many thanks for the international bodies and cooperate sponsor for this genius support. Many thanks for the organizing committee of this conference for this efforts, for their efforts. In this conference, more than 80 participants divided to 11 speakers, 12 keynote speakers, more than 100 oral presentation, and the posters. We wish you a very fruitful meeting and enjoy time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The chairman of the
السيد اللواء عصام ليسي سكرتير عام المحافظة محافظة شبح الأحمر، الأخ العزيز سلطان وريقي، والابن العزيز أحمد الصغير اللي احنا عارفينه أحمد اليان، السادة الضيوف. أنا هتكلم الأول بالعربي عشان أعبر إحساسي بنفس اللغة بتاعت أهل بلدي. أولا أنا سعيد جدا بتواجد هذه المجموعة الكبيرة من الأبناء والزملاء، والحقيقة الفضل كله يرجع للدكتور أحمد، لأنه على مدار سنة ونص شغل دؤوب واللي عشان نشوف هذا المؤتمر، فأنا الحقيقة بشكره على هذا المجهود العظيم، لأن هذا التجمع جميل جدا وعظيم جدا، مش مجرد بس المحاضرات اللي بتتقال او الكلمات اللي بتتقال، لكن مجرد وجودنا مع بعض وتبادل الافكار، ده اهم حاجه في هذه التجمعات، مش مجرد المحاضرات اللي بتتقال يعني. وانا سعيد جدا ان انا شخصيا شفت بعض الناس اللي شفتهم شركه من سنين عليها. أنا بشكر كل من حضر، واسمحوا لي أقول كلمة صغيرة كده باللغة الإنجليزية. Ladies and gentlemen from non-speaking Arabic language, I personally welcome you all here in this beautiful city of Rargadan, and I appreciate your presence. And as you can see, we really are a peaceful country, although in spite of all these stupid incidents, which are unbelievable in any society, but the world is really crazy, it's getting more crazy every day, but we have to live with it. And I'm very happy to see you here all, and please, for those who came it's the first time, I hope it will not be the last, because as we all know, whoever drinks from the water on the Nile has to come back. So, and we will all be happy to see you back, and I thank you all, and God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you. One university, but we have a special guest here who is representing all of the Arab universities. So we have a Professor Sultan Abu Arabi. He is the president of the United Arab Universities, and the secretary will talk just a brief talk about the activities and what's going on there.
والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. الأخ العزيز الأستاذ الدكتور أحمد عزيز والأخ العزيز الأستاذ الدكتور أحمد سماحي، وزميلي الأستاذ الدكتور أحمد الصغير. قرر المؤتمر وحقيقة الذي له بصمات في الكيمياء في جامعة سوهاج وفي ليبيا وفي ما إلى ذلك، وسعدت سكرتير محافظة البحر الأحمر الزملاء والزميلات. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته، وأسألتم صباحا جميعا. أتشرف أن أكون بينكم في هذا الصباح، هذا الصباح الجميل، في هذه المنطقة الجميلة من مصر. قبل دقائق تكلم الدكتور أحمد عزيز أن هذه زيارة 60 إلى مصر وربما أكثر يا دكتور أحمد. مصر بلدنا كلنا، مصر أم الدنيا هي بلد العرب كلها. لذلك لما نأتي إلى مصر نأتي إلى أي بلد عربي. وحقيقة دائما ندعو الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يحمي مصر ويحمي أهل مصر. إذا ربنا حمى مصر فهو حمى كل الأمة العربية. لذلك ماذا يجري الآن؟ ماذا حدث قبل يومين؟ الله يبعد كل الشر عن مصر وعن كل الوطن العربي. فلذلك نأمل إن شاء الله أن يكون الأمن والاستقرار موجود في كل بلدان العربية. أنا أتيت بالأردن، أنا أمين عام اتحاد الجامعات العربية، وقد نظمنا مثل هذه المؤتمرات الكثيرة في الأردن في جامعة اليرموك وفي جامعة الدولى التقنية، وشارك الكثير من الزملاء الجالسين هنا في هذه المؤتمرات. اتحاد الجامعات العربية، أحب باللغة العربية اللي هم الزملاء العرب الدرجة الأولى. اتحاد الجامعات العربية بدأ في عام 1964، وفي عام 1969 احتضنت جامعة الإسكندرية أول مؤتمر عام لرؤساء الجامعات العربية.
لننعم بالسلام وبالأمن لابد لنا من توفر السواعد الساهرة لحماية الوطن، وجامعتنا ورئيسها حريصون دائما على التواصل والترابط ما بين الجامعة وما بين.
في الأول أود بس أنقل لكم تحيات السيد اللواء أحمد عبد الله محافظ البحر الأحمر، اللي كان يتمنى يكون موجود معانا بس نظرا للالتزام تاني التزام
Here, scientist to be the president of Sohag University, Professor Ahmed Aziz. He is one of the leading authority in hydrology. He has a specialty in geology, and he is the president of Sohag University right now. Under his leadership, things got different, and everyone worked to his maximum capability to push Sohag further, to be in the top and forefront for the science, for the education, and even for the manners and the behavior of our students. And that not only on a science foundation, but also in the personal level, that we can have a graduate that who is capable to compete worldwide, and also to have the vision and the dream of a good future. And that's what we need for our next generations. So I would like to welcome Professor Ahmed Aziz, the president of Sohag University, to talk about Sohag and our university and his dream for the future. So it is with you, Professor.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. Let me first of all, as the president of Sohag University, welcome you all here, professors, scientists, researchers, young researchers. I am very pleased to welcome you all here. It's a great opportunity to have you all here, and we expecting that we have a wonderful discussion and a change experience among the scientists here. Let me welcome Professor Dr. Ahmed Abdullah Samahi. He is the founder of Sohag University. Dr. Ahmed Abdullah Samahi was the one who gave all what he can do for our university. Most of the professors in Sohag University, they know very well who is Dr. Ahmed Abdullah Samahi and what he has done for Sohag University. And what we believe now in Sohag and what we can see in Sohag University actually is the act of Dr. Samahi. Thank you very much, Dr. Ahmed. I personally have the pleasure that Dr. Samahi was the one who sent me to the UK when I was young to study for PhD. So I again, thank you, Dr. Ahmed, for what you have done for me. Mr. President, Mr. Dr. Sultan Abarabi is the Secretary General of the Arab League Universities. We welcome you here on behalf of Sohag University. And we have seen what you have done for the Arab University League. And I am, as a new president of Sohag University, I'm looking forward for more cooperation with the Arab University League in the future. And I take this opportunity to invite you to visit Sohag, because as far as I know, you haven't been in Sohag University. So I personally invite you to visit our university and cooperate with you in the future. Mr. Secretary General, Deputy Secretary General of the Red Sea Governorates, my friend, General Assam Al-Laisi, we welcome you. We welcome you in your place. So, yes, we've been working together with the Secretary General in Sohag. We have a good relationship, and actually we lost him in Sohag. So I'm expecting he will do a lot of good job in the Red Sea University. Thank you for coming, Mr. Assam Al-Laisi. Actually, in Sohag University, we are serving more than 45,000 students in the university. We have almost 2,500 staff, academic staff, distributed among the 15 faculties of colleges, in addition to the Higher Institute of Nursing. Our vision is in addition to 11 postgraduate students. So compared to Arab universities and another university in the world, it's a huge number. Even we are still a small university, but compared to the others, we are a big university. Our vision is to graduate candidates that are capable for the new market, and to provide a good community services to the community, in addition to provide a good research that could help the society and Sohag region as long as other regions in Egypt. This is why we are looking for improving the teaching facilities in our university to reach the international quality standard for education, for teaching, for researchers. In our near future, we're looking for, and we start already actually taking some action to establish what we call a technology transfer center to benefit from the research and to transfer the research from just research and papers to applied and can benefit the society and the community. In addition to that, we're working hard to establish some new technical research center, like the Nanotechnology Center, that could serve and help different universities to come up with a new technology and to transfer, again, the research from academic research to applied research. And this is our aim, actually, to work at, to use the value chain of research, not just doing research. Here in the conference, I am expecting that conference will have lots of discussion, lots of changes experience among the researchers, and it's a good opportunity for our staff from Sohag University to work with you, to discuss with you, to learn from your experience. This will definitely have a great impact on our researchers. And this is why I would like to consider in one of the recommendations to increase the number of young assistants to attend this sort of conference. Because definitely they will get benefit from your experience. They will learn how to speak, how to ask questions, and how to answer the questions. Secondly, in the recommendation as well, I would like you as a scientist to look at what we can do to transfer the knowledge from just academic research to applied research. This is why I would recommend to have a session in the future in the most potential articles that could be applied, could be support the technology, support the industries, and we can invite the private sector to learn and benefit from your experience. We're discussing our research within this room, but I would really like to take this opportunity out of this room, to take our research out of the room, to take it to the media, to take it to the private sector. This is where we can benefit from the research that we are doing. I am also invite you. We are planning currently to hold a national conference. When I said national, I mean it because our nation, our country, it's a time to benefit from our research. We're doing a lot of research, but the impact of the research in the country is still a little. This is why I have agreed with the president of South Valley University and the president of Aswan University to hold a conference under the umbrella of Soohaj University to look at what the three universities can do to develop our part of the world, our part of Egypt, Upper Egypt. We have a lot of natural resources, but it's not has been utilized yet. We have desert areas, we have fish, we have natural geological resources, we have the problem of water and the groundwater, and all of us knows what's the problem of water in the future. But what this university have done to the Upper Egypt, and if you look at the research and development, still we are far behind what is we expecting from the research to do in the development. This is why I'm inviting you in March, inshallah, to hold a national conference to present what we can do to develop our part of our Egypt. Lastly, I want to thank very much Dr. Ahmed Saeed. He's the organizer of this committee. He's been working with his team for a long time to gather you here and to enjoy your stay in Ghana, this nice place of the country. And I would like to say thanks to the organizing committee, because they did a lot of work, and I know how hard this work they done and they still do to present this conference in a good shape and to have a good stay and good sessions. I know that because last year when I attended this conference, I was the chairman of the organizing committee. So I know how hard they are working. And actually I miss this work. I would prefer to be, well, I would like to be one of the organizing committee rather than the president of the university. Lastly, and finally, I want to say, whatever happened to Egypt, we still are living. Whatever happened from the terrorists, we're going to face it. Because we believe that those people, they have no religions. There is no religions in the world who can support killing innocent people who pray in the mosque. Last year they killed the people who was praying in the church. And this year they killed the people who was praying in the mosque. I'm sure there are no religions. There is nothing come from the God who says that kills the people who pray in the mosque or in church. So I believe that with our union, with our solidarity as Egyptian, and with support from other countries to stop this terrorism, we're going to fight. We're going to support our country to be a well-developed country. And finally, I would say, God bless Egypt. Thank you very much. Thank you.
The same thing with the Turkish universities, and with the European ones, and with the German one. Number 7, our organization organized an Arab-German conference on higher education hosted by Communist Technical University in Germany when it comes to technical universities. With the Chinese ones, with the French. Now we are going to do a lot of work with the Russian universities. And also we are working with the European Union when it comes to Erasmus Plus, to have research projects together. I'm leaving tomorrow to Alexandria to meet, because we have very important meeting with the European Union concerning some projects conducted between the North and the South. And that's what we try to do. In the end, I thank you so much, and I thank the organizing committee once again for organizing an important event. And I'm sorry if I took long time, or I'm on the right time. On the right time. Thank you so much, and we thank you so much, both of you here. وشكرا والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Thank you so much for your really very interesting talk, because these are big problems and challenges you have pointed out. Maybe there is some question from the audience for the professor. It was really very interesting.
Thank you so much.
Now let's move to the second talk, plenary talk of this morning session, and that would be Professor Detlef Bannemann. His presentation title is Mechanisms, Protocatalytic Processes Revisited, and just about a few words about Professor Detlef Bannemann. His research topics include photocatalysis, photoelectrochemistry, solar chemistry, and photochemistry focused on synthesis and physical chemical properties of semiconductors and metal nanoparticles. He is very productive scientifically. He has published more than 330 publications, and they all are citing around 29,000 times. His H index is 66 according to ISI. Congratulations, really impressive. And he's also a visiting research professor in the School of Chemistry and Chemical Engineering at Queen's University in Belfast, United Kingdom, and holds a guest professorship at Indian University at Tianjin, China, as well as several other visiting professorships in China, Malaysia, Saudi Arabia, and Great Britain. Professor Bannemann, please, the podium is yours. We are looking forward to your presentation.
And for the very kind introduction. And I think it's quite nice to follow after the last presentation, because what we are doing is really, we are working very international, and we are working a lot also together with people from the Arab world, and you might be able, you might be able to see this here. This is my group a few years ago, and if you look in the faces, you will see faces, a lot of faces which don't look very German, right? There are faces which look very Arabic, there are faces which look Asian, there are faces from all over the world, and I can only say this is fun in science. This is how science should work, to come into the laboratory and don't understand the language. In the morning I come in the laboratory and then people speak Russian, and I don't speak Russian. I'm director of a Russian institute, but we speak English there, and so I don't speak Russian. In the afternoon I come, and then the language will be Arabic. And next morning I come, and the language will be Spanish. And this continues like this, and this is, I can tell you, this is really fun. I can assure you that our scientific discussions are all held in English, so the boss